special guest in the studio, the Barter Barber, Sam. Good morning, thank you. Welcome to the Rhema studio.
It's good to be here. It's really good to be up in the almost sunny Auckland.
Well, yeah, almost. This is as good as it gets in Auckland, actually. Yeah. And hey, you bought your crew, you bought your barbering equipment, and also your friendly dog Bobo.
Yeah, he's actually trying to climb up on me at the moment. There you go, dude. He's a staple with where we're going. So he's always in the van. He's always riding shotgun if he can.
Yeah, that's very good indeed, and I think it adds to the atmosphere in the Rhema studio this morning. Now, we're not cutting the dogs here today, and certainly not mine, because I'm not giving you much to work with, honestly, Sam, but Josh from Shine TV in the Rhema studio. Josh, you nervous?
No, I'm pretty confident. I'm sure he'll do a great job.
Yeah, he should be nervous, right?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. And you honestly, you were selected, Josh, because you're the person in the Rhema media building that is in most need of a decent haircut. Sam, would you?
That's the kind of honesty that I like. I think that by the end of today, we won't recognise him.
Yeah.
He's going to be ready for shoulders back, head up, and kind of strut his stuff.
That is really cool. Now, Josh, any last requests or any particular requests a little bit off the back, or hey, you and I could have matching haircuts. Josh, what do you reckon?
Well, I do know the reason you couldn't be in this chair, Andrew, is because you have no hair.
Just accentuate my bald spot a little, if you could, Sam. That'd be great. Yeah,
hey, you'd be amazed what we can do.
But actually, Sam, I mean, you're cutting here in the Rhema studio here today, talking a little bit about the stuff that you do. Yeah. But also, I mean, this is a really important and serious issue because honestly, guys aren't really that good at talking about the important stuff, getting under the surface, not just sort of saying, hey, I'm a man's man and I like rugby and I don't really talk much in between matches, but actually saying, this is how I'm feeling, these are some of the issues that I'm dealing with. Particularly talking to other blokes, it's not something we do well here in New Zealand.
No, and it's something that I don't think we've had inherent to us. It's not something that we're taught. We're taught to kind of, man up, harden up. There's been a lot of the rhetoric that's been around New Zealand, and obviously if we look at our statistics right across the board, it's not working for us guys.
Yeah.
So what we do is we travel around and we just tell guys and teach guys different ways that we can communicate. Especially when it comes to getting a bit of literacy around our own mental health.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah. And a wonderful thing to do. We'll take a bit of a break now. Let you get started on Josh's hair.
Nice.
But also talk more about some of the people that you've met and the way in which people can connect to the stuff that you do. That's coming up in just a moment. It is Torrin Wells on Rhema with Hills and Valleys. It's just on 25 past 11, and what a transformation happening in the Rhema studio. Josh, on purpose, you don't have a mirror. You can't see the transformation that's happened on top of your head already. How are you feeling, man?
I'm feeling great.
Nice. That's the kind of attitude we want.
And Sam doing a fantastic job, the Barter Barber in the Rhema studio. There's hair all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll clean that up a little bit later on. But just while that song was going, Sam, you're talking about some of the communities that you've been to, travelling around New Zealand, going to some of the smaller places off the beaten track, and having some really good conversations with blokes about how they're doing. Tell us about some of that.
Yeah. So we were just talking about sense of communities and things like that, and I was making a notice of a couple that I've been to. Kauro is one of my favourite places. I was working down there during the Edgecombe floods.
Yeah.
And we're working between Whakatane and Kauro, where a lot of the relief stuff was going on. And I've never seen community action like that, where they're just so for everyone and everybody kind of chips in and does their part.
Now, I mean, these are communities that have gone through some pretty tough stuff and high levels of unemployment. There's levels of domestic violence, etc. But
anything
actually,
that comes with low socioeconomics.
Yeah, totally.
And that's something I'm learning as well. I started this for the idea of I wanted to get suicidality out there and talk about the mental health side. And I'm starting to realise the more I do it, that cultural and socioeconomic things are actually big parts of this as well. And if we don't talk that at the same time, then we're only doing a quarter of the job. What
are the things that are taking guys to the tipping point of saying,
isolation's a huge one.
Exactly.
Alcohol's a huge one. But frustration. I mean, for us as men, we're afforded two emotions, happy and angry.
Yeah.
Where violence is even applauded, for this kind of masculine ideal. But by doing that, we don't afford guys things like sadness or loneliness or anything like that. And so when a guy's feeling sad and lonely, he associates that with anger straight away because it's not happy.
The sort of situation that you're creating through the whole Barber thing, and I mean, actually, if I just keep you talking and Josh's hair stays like that's a fantastic look we've got happening. The half haircut.
This is the speed haircut, so it's aerodynamic.
But just wanting to talk a little bit more about the way in which guys might talk to you. They might not talk to their mates. They might not talk to the guys in the rugby club, but they're happy to talk to this total stranger who rolls into town with a dog and a pair of scissors, happy to pour out their heart about some of the tough stuff they're going through. That's an amazing thing.
Absolutely, and I think it's my responsibility to make sure that doesn't stop with me.
Yeah.
It's about showing guys a few different ways to talk, and the big way for us guys, and we don't realise it a lot of the time ourselves, is that we need to be doing something with our hands to talk. We don't sit across, have a cup of tea and be like, honey, I'm having a bad time. It doesn't really work that way. But when we're out there fixing a car, when we're going hunting and we're going surfing, we turn around to our mate and we go, bro, how you doing?
Yeah.
That's the honesty. And that's the hard part. And as soon as you've got past that part, that piece where you're giving the vulnerability, that's when you start getting some real good conversation, some real respect. Yeah.
So, I mean, this is something you're doing. You're travelling around gold coin donations and a chat. I mean,
just call her. And the thing is, we're not actually trading money for the most part.
Yeah.
It's like food or a petrol card or something. Anything that just helps us stay on the road.
Some dog food for the dog.
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Anything we don't use goes to the food bank. Any food that Bo doesn't eat goes to the SPCA. So a lot of the time, these communities are actually paying themselves back in.
Yeah,
Cool.
This is absolutely fantastic. Now, people, if people wanted to get in touch and find out more about the work that you're doing, find out when you're going to be in town, and sort of, this isn't the standard thing where you can book a haircut. This is guys kind of rocking up and making the most of the opportunity. But how can people stay in touch with what you're doing?
Facebook's the absolute best way. So that's just facebook.com/thebarter. We'll have a YouTube channel up very, very soon as well, which is going to be just showing little parts of where we're at. But if they're anywhere around Auckland this week as well, we've got the beard and moustache competition this weekend. We've got then the very vintage day out that we're working at. Zeal night market, so Zeal's having a hardcore night down there. We're going to cut some hair and be back up here for Sunday.
Well, it's nice, not just the provincial towns and cities, but coming to the big smoke every now and again as well.
When I have to.
There is something, though, I suppose, about the smaller communities that, I mean, they still have that cup of sugar thing. They still know who their neighbours are. They know the names of the neighbour's dog, so they can tell it off when it's going on their lawn, whereas in the big cities, the big fences, sometimes you don't even share a language with your neighbours. Do you think there's something that the bigger cities can learn from the smaller communities?
I think just the sense of community is something that the big cities can bring on board, because a lot of the time we isolate ourselves, whether it be because of we only want to be around the people that are into the same interests as us or anything like that. It's good to have that kind of community, but making sure that it's community, not a scene.
Yeah.
And I think we know what we mean when we say a scene. A scene is putting people down. It's being better than.
Yeah.
Where a sense of community is encouragement, and it's coming from a place of love, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sam, there'll be people listening into this, and I keep interrupting your haircut, but I'm enjoying this, and you're enjoying this, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool. And Josh, you're enjoying it, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, feel free to share your feelings as well live on the radio if you want to. But actually, Sam, there'll be people listening to this at the moment who are saying, hey, yeah, this is a cool thing you're doing, but I don't have anybody to talk to. I'm spending a lot of time and mental energy pretending that I've got my act together.
Yeah.
And if I ever let my guard down and people know just how much I'm not coping, then, I don't know how to start that conversation. What advice would you give to somebody who's listening in today who's in that place?
The hardest part is starting. The hardest part is actually having that vulnerability, and giving that vulnerability to somebody is so very important. Because when you can even just speak how you're feeling, being able to articulate it takes a lot off you. That whole half load shared is a load halved. But from the other side of that, there's always Lifeline as well. Yeah. Like, people like Lifeline, they're counsellors, and they're not going to judge you from the other end of a phone. They're just there to listen. Great. The other end of that, when you've got somebody that you're worried about, we just need to learn how to listen a lot better, because as guys, we feel like we have to fix everything all the time. It's always, somebody says, I've got this problem, you go, well, what you need to do is. And that's such a thing for us. But what we need to learn to do is just accept and listen. We don't have to fix it. We don't have to fix anybody, but just validating somebody, making them feel like they've been heard, is probably one of the most magical things you can do for somebody.
Yeah, totally. And you're doing a fantastic job fixing up Josh's haircut as well.
Yeah,
it's just about there. Actually, we'll let you
You
continue.
gave me a blank canvas, which is wonderful.
It's quite good. Yeah, blank. That's quite a good description, isn't it? Now, we'll be back talking more with the Barber. That's coming up in just a moment on Rhema. That is Mandisa on Rhema with Good Morning. It is just coming up on 20 to 12, so a little bit left of the morning and a little bit left of Josh Beatty's here. Josh, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling cooler, I think.
You look cooler. Seriously. I mean, Sam, how would you describe this? I'm thinking this has kind of got a North Korea look to it. Is that the look you're going for?
I don't have a name for it. I've only got a piece of a song.
Yeah.
And it goes, you can tell by the way I walk walls and no town.
Yeah,
You can laugh.
Yeah. No, Josh is a woman's man, aren't you, Josh?
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
No comment.
Especially with that look there, and there's a lot of hair on the floor. There's a lot less hair on you and more on the floor, which is a very good look indeed. Sam, thank you for what you do, both in the Rhema studio, giving Josh a decent haircut, and also for the work that you do around New Zealand, helping men to open up about issues that are important to them and encouraging us all to not just man up, but to speak up as well. That's very cool.
Hey, thank you very much.
Hey, if people do want to follow you around the country or follow you on Facebook, what are the details? How do they do that?
You wanted to get onto facebook.com/thebarter, or alternatively, just keep an eye out for our 1971 Bedford van with a picture of me and my dog on the side of it.
Yeah, no, that's quite a distinctive look, actually.
Oh, yeah.
But Facebook's probably an easier way of doing that. Thanks for coming into the studio. Hey, still to come onto the program. Now, we have been live streaming this, so I probably should have mentioned that before, shouldn't I? Hi to everyone who's watching us on the live stream. But we're also filming this. We've got some guys from Shine TV in the studio. We'll be posting the video feed. Now, we had to do that to prove that this all wasn't a setup that we did with sound effects and everything. No, hair has actually been cut in the Rhema studio, so we'll be posting that on our Facebook page a little bit later on, and also, Sam, a link to your Facebook, so nice and easy. Oh, look at that, the big reveal.
This is good. Oh, you might be a little hairy for the day, but
a little bit less hairy. That's absolutely fantastic. Guys, thanks for coming in.
hey, thank you.